Hi, my name is Andy Norton, and I am so excited to bring you this playthrough of ARCS, the board game, the game of the year, right? And there are 1,000 playthroughs online. There are so many how to plays, deep dives, reviews of this game, but I think that this game today, this playthrough, is unique. I don't think there's anything out there like this on the internet, and so I'm so excited to bring it to you. The reason for that is because I am playing a solo, just one player game of ARCS. It's really a 4-player game, but against 3 different bots. And those bots are being run by a fan-made app, which I'll show you right here on the iPad. It is super, super fun, totally fan-made, and just a work of love and homage to this incredible game that I love getting to the table physically like this. But it's really, really fun for just cranking out games with friends or against bots or a mix. And I have had so much fun with it. The link is in the description. But today I wanted to do something that I've done actually a few times just by myself. I wanted to record a gameplay of playing this, just me against 3 bots, but I'm playing it simultaneously on the app and out on the board. So that way you don't have to watch a screen and just watch me playing the app. You can watch an actual game played through just like any other game of ARCS, but I'm going to be tapping the screen as we go through to make my choices, and I'll be looking at that to see what they're doing. And so hopefully you can follow along, and I think that you'll actually be able to see ARCS from a whole new perspective, because nowhere else are you getting to see the inner workings beat by beat of any given human player as they're playing ARCS, because they have to kind of keep things to themselves and can't share all of their moment-to-moment decisions and thinking. So I'm excited because I think that I've played it enough that I think you'll gain a lot by seeing how I'm thinking. But of course, whenever you put something on the internet, it becomes public property to consume and to comment on. And so I'm hopeful that if I'm making any gameplay mistakes or any strategic errors, please dive into the comments and let me know what I'm missing. So without further ado, let's get going. This is set up for 4 players. I am red. White has the initiative over here. So white has the initiative, yellow is second, blue is third, and I am 4th player. So I'm in last place, but first to pick leaders and lore, which I'm playing with that. So this is the base game of ARCS, not the big expansion, Blighted Reach, but we are using the leaders and lore, including the extra leaders and lore from that little mini expansion. So we've got the leaders and lore, and we are on the 4-player mix-up 1 is the map that we have here today. And this is all set up. I have everything set up with cities in people's A's and starports in people's B's. So for example, for player 1, 1A is right here. They've got a city there and 3 ships. And then 1B is over here with a starport and 3 ships. And then 1C over here with 2 ships. I have it set up that way because that will change probably as they choose leaders. But that just, that's the kind of the baseline. If we were not playing with leaders and lore, that's what they would have. And yeah, I'll go through the court because that's what we'll be looking at before we look at leaders and lore. And then I'll just go ahead and choose either my leader or my lore. So in the court, we've got skirmishers. An okay card, pretty good card. Like any weapons card is good because it says prelude. You may discard this to place 3 ships in a system you control. Almost all of the weapons cards do that. You've also got court enforcers. Similarly, can be really powerful, can be really fun, but also just has that baseline power of being a burst of ships. Farseers, which I think for many people might be the #1 most powerful card in the game, because it has both this cool ability of when you declare an ambition, look at a rival's hand, you may swap 1 card with them, but probably more importantly, it says prelude, you may discard this and any number of cards from your hand, draw the same number of cards, including Farseers, from the bottom of the action discard pile. So this represents really an extra card, but also shedding your hand and getting new options potentially. So very, very, very powerful. And then lastly, mining interests, which in the right hands can be awesome because it says manufacture, build, gain 1 material, as well as prelude. You can just discard this to gain material up to your number of empty resource slots. And if the material supply empties, you can steal that material instead. So this is great for grabbing a bunch of material and really for turning your construction cards into giving you resources, which even if, it's going to be material, but there are plenty of cards that could utilize those material as other resources. So still a very, very powerful card as well. All right, and so that is the court. That is not a bad starting court of cards. And then for the leaders, let's go through what we've got here. I'll just go through them quickly first. So Shaper, Feastbringer, Fuel Drinker, Elder, and Archivist. Very, very fun group of leaders. And I thought this group of lore was also fun. Predictive Sensors, Gate Stations, Ancient Holdings, Warlord's Cruelty, and Empath's Vision. So all of these, I think these are all like pretty powerful lore, but none of them am I like, oh, I don't want this falling into the hands of someone else. So I think I'm going to focus on choosing a leader. So going through these, the Shaper says, after you tax a city, you may place one resource you have over the planet's resource icon. From now on, its planet type is the place resource, and its planet type cannot be changed again with this ability, with the mythic ability. And then Ancient, you cannot catapult move from starports, but you can catapult move from gates. You can catapult move from gates. So I would normally say that the Shaper is a little bit underpowered, but let me just see for a second. Gate stations, you can build cities on gates. I mean, that could be really cool to like build cities on gates. And then also, what is it? You couldn't use the mythic ability with those cities, but you could tax other people's cities and change those. I mean, that sounds like a really interesting strategy. That's Shaper. Sorry, let me just double check this. Gate stations. Shaper, gate stations. You know what? Let me think about that. So that's Shaper. Feastbringer, when you copy or pivot in order to secure a card, you may influence before or after you secure. Super powerful. But to declare an ambition, you must give one guild card to your rival with the least power. I'm not happy that he's in the game. Fuel Drinker, when you copy or pivot in order to tax, you gain one fuel along with the taxed resource. After scoring, you must discard all of your fuel if the Tycoon ambition was scored. Very cool. I was Fuel Drinker last game I played in real life with some friends. Elder, after defending in battle, you may influence if the attacker took any trophies. Rivals cannot ransack the court when they battle you. And then they're also just, when you're scoring Tyrant, gain no power for second place and gain power for second place if you get first place. And then the Archivist gets extra lore. So after setup, gain 2 extra lore, draw 5, keep 2, scrap the other 3. And then they're also academic. So when you're scoring Tycoon, gain no power for second place and gain power for second place if you get first place. So there's a few of these I don't really want to be. I feel like I don't want to be Elder or Archivist particularly. And I don't really want to be... I mean, Feastbringer could be cool. Honestly, Feastbringer could be awesome, actually. Let me think about it. Feastbringer, Fuel Drinker, Shaper. What I'm going to do... I really don't want to get stuck with these two... But I guess it could be fine. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take Gate Stations because I'm curious if I could get that Gate Stations Shaper combo to work. So I'm gonna choose Gate Stations. Set that over here for now. And so on the app, I will just tap Gate Stations, take that, and I'm seeing that yellow is taking Ancient Holdings. So over here, yellow will have. Wait, why's yellow? Oh, I mixed that up. Yellow and blue are a little bit flips right here. Yellow is third place. So yellow is taking Ancient Holdings. That's the one that gives them, I should read through that. This card has 1 resource slot with a raid cost of key. So 4 keys. That's yellow. And blue is taking Feastbringer. Dang it. I was hoping that one would not get picked. Because now we just have to be very careful because of their charismatic ability. When you copy or pivot in order to secure a card, you may influence before or after you secure. So they could easily be getting cards quite easily, which is a little scary. And then the white is taking Fuel Drinker. So Fuel Drinker is for white. which leaves us with the two I do not want, Archivist and Elder, but also Shaper. So I'm going to go ahead and take Shaper as my leader. This will be super interesting because I don't think Shaper is super powerful. So let's see what happens. That's Shaper. And so yellow is taking Elder. So no Archivist today. Yellow is taking Elder. Blue is going to be taking Warlord's Cruelty, which is, while Warlord is declared, you may tax cities that you already taxed this turn. They can also discard this to clear your weapon outrage. Jeez, that's really interesting. That's for blue. And then for white, for the Fuel Drinker, they're taking Empath's Vision. While Empath is declared, if you roll any dice, even outside battle, you may reroll any number of them once, and they can clear their psionic outrage. Okay, so then Predictive Sensors was not taken, which I'm happy about that, because that could be a very annoying card. So, all right, and let's change our setup here. So for us, for the Shaper, we get a relic and a material to start off with. So we'll throw those into our resource slots. We do get a city in A, but we don't get a starport. So over here, pull that starport back. And that's us. For yellow, they have a standard setup of city and starport and normal number of ships. They get a relic and a material as well, like us. They're kindred spirits. And then blue, with a feast bringer, they are also kindred spirits. They get a relic and a material. And they have an extra ship in C. And they also have another city, not a starport. Very interesting. Wow, this is yellow. Sorry, I'm mixing everything up. That was, sorry, I'm mixing a little bit of things up. Yellow, so yeah, sorry, this is blue. So blue is getting an extra ship here, I believe. And then they get an extra city. Hopefully I did that correctly. I think I did. I just have to move a couple things because the blue and the yellow were mixed around. So that was blue. And then white. They've got fuel. They're the odd ones out. And then they have a normal setup otherwise. So that's the Fuel Drinker. Let me quickly just shift these yellow and blue pieces over on the side so that I don't get them mixed up, because I had their turn order reversed. Okay, I think that I'm good on that note. And so then let's draw our starting hand. So on the app, we see that we have a 3 and a 5 of construction. So in the deck, this is the extra lore deck. Here we go. This is the actual deck of cards. I have it sorted by suit, because every time we're just gonna be grabbing them out of here based on what the app tells us to do. So 3 and 5 of construction is what we'll have. We'll also have 2, 4, and 6 of administration. That's pretty good. Throw those down here. And then the 5 of mobilization. And so notably, no aggression cards, which is pretty interesting. And so I'm thinking that I'll leave my leader, my lore here, and then I'll have my cards, my hand here. But then I'll have to just put my, my guild cards over to the side. All right, so that is our setup. And again, we were 4th player. So to start the game, it's gonna be white taking the first move. So let's see what they do. White is gonna lead with aggression 7. So let's check this out. So grab the deck again. Sorry, I'm a little bit unused to how I'm doing this. Here we go. So white is leading with aggression 7. So they're gonna go ahead and do this. That's tough. Not easy to get the initiative from them, except for they're declaring Tycoon Ambition. So they're gonna go ahead and declare. They can declare anything because it's a 7. So they'll declare the Tycoon Ambition. That's interesting. So the Fuel Drinker likes that because they have a bunch of fuel. They can get more fuel but they are going to lose all their fuel at the end of the chapter because of the tycoon ambition having been declared. So that's curious. And let's see what they do as their action. So they are going to not take any prelude actions. They're going to just move a white ship from gate 1 to gate 2 with the move. So from gate 1 to gate 2, just right there, moving a ship. All right. Blue is going to surpass them. So blue is going to go ahead and play an aggression 2. So they're going to surpass aggression 2. That's a little scary. They've got 3 pips there. And they are going to skip they're not going to seize, and they're going to skip their prelude. They're just going to move blue ship from gate 6 to gate 1. So from here to here. And then they're going to battle white. And so this is one thing that's a little bit weird about playing with the app and in person, is that you can't, it rolls the dice for you. So we just have to tell what the dice roll was. Blue's going to roll 2 blue dice, and they rolled a hit and a miss. And so then they are going to deal a damage to this white ship, just like so. And they still have 1 pip left. So they're going to battle again. And again, they're going to roll 2 blue dice. And again, they're going to get a hit and a miss, destroying this ship. And they're going to put that trophy into their trophy box. So blue has a white ship trophy. And then yellow is going to surpass with a 1 aggression. Jeez, look at them just lowballing over this 7 turned into a 0. So they're going to play a 1. This is yellow is going now. They're going to move yellow. They actually are going to seize initiative with a card. So whenever they're seizing or copying, I'm just going to grab an extra lore and just show like so I can kind of visibly see what they did. They're seizing the initiative. So yellow will now have the initiative. And then they're going to skip over their prelude. And they're going to move yellow ship from gate 4 to gate 2. Curious. And then they're going to battle white in gate 2. They're going to get blank. And then for their last pip, they're going to battle white again. They're going to get blank hit and damage the ship. Wow. So they are all going after white and their kind of, vulnerable gate ships out there. So cool. So that was all them. We unfortunately have no aggression cards, so we can't, overplay them and take initiative. I guess he already sees initiative anyways, but we can't get a bunch of free aggression actions. So instead, what do we want to do here? Let's see. So we would like to build a city out here, probably. Should we just go ahead and do that? That might be smart. Let's just try it. So let's go ahead and take our 3 of construction and let's pivot. So when you pivot, you play a card that's not of the lead suit, and you play it face up and take only 1 of those actions. So we're going to pivot with a 3 of construction, and we're going to skip over our prelude because we don't want to do anything with our material, and we can't do anything with our relic, and we're just going to have 1 build action. And let's go ahead and build in gate 5. And my thinking here is that by building here, which we're allowed to do with gate stations, which says you may build cities on gates, max 1 per gate. A gate city's type matches all cities in its cluster. And so I can take psionic, I can take relic, I can take weapons. This is probably the best. And it fits for me too, because I have a material city already. And so the only thing I'm missing right now is fuel, which is fine. So there we go. I just built a gate city, and I'm going to end my turn. All right, so yellow takes the initiative, and let's throw all these cards in the discard underneath. And then let's see what yellow plays. So yellow is going to go ahead and lead with aggression 5. Oh my gosh, more aggression. Yellow plays aggression 5. It looks like they are not going to declare an ambition. Makes pretty much sense. We all have a relic, so they're not really incentivized to declare keepers with that 5. And they are going to use a prelude action. So they're going to spend a material to build a city in hex 1. So over here, they're going to build a city. Boom. And now they have 2 actions to use their card. They're going to battle white, again rolling 2 blue dice, again getting 2 misses. And with their last action, they're going to battle again, rolling 2 blue dice. They're going to get a hit and a miss and destroy that white ship and take a trophy. Very interesting. So a couple trophies getting picked up there. Tycoon is declared though, so that's interesting. We're in the running for second place right now, tied with Feastbringer, which isn't good, but maybe we can get some more. Maybe if we could get mining interest, that'd be cool. All right, so that was their turn. So now it goes to us. Unfortunately, again, we don't have an aggression card. So we could, I mean, taxing probably would be strong here. So why don't we go ahead and maybe pivot to tax with one of these cards. And what I'm leaning towards is the 4. Because the 6 could help us gain initiative. The 2 could help us just get a ton of actions. And so let's go ahead and use the 4. So we'll pivot with the 4 of administration. And I don't think we care to seize the initiative, so we'll skip over that. We don't care to take any prelude actions, so we'll also skip over that. And finally, we will tax. So let's go ahead and tax. We're going to tax this city for a psionic. So let's gain a psionic here. And all right, so gaining a psionic. What did it say? Oh, wait a second. A gate city's type matches all cities in its cluster. You know what's funny is I think I've misplayed that before. I think I read it as it matches all planets in its cluster. Wow, that's completely fascinating. Okay, I definitely think I misplayed that. I found, over playing with the app so many times that it helps you catch those things that you might gloss over. So, wow, that is cool. All right, we're going to put our psionic in our key 2 here just to keep it relatively safe. But we're hoping to probably use it here soon, so we don't have to keep it so safe. So we are now, in fact, let's switch material and relic. Yeah, let's do it. Just because I think we're going to hold on to that material and we don't want anyone stealing it. Whereas I think we're going to use a relic when we can. All right. White is going to then take their turn. And they're going to surpass with a 6 of aggression. All right. And let's see what they do. They're going to move 2 white ships from Hex 6 to Gate 6. They're going to battle blue with 2 blue dice. And they just roll blanks. So no good there. And that was their whole turn. Blue is going to then pivot with administration 1. So blue is going to pivot with administration 1. And let's see what they do. They're going to, looks like tax the blue city in Hex 4 to gain material. So over here, Hex, by the way, when I say Hex, crescent, arrow, that's sort of how you dictate these. So this is Hex 4 is this city here. So they're going to tax this, blue is, to gain a material. And that they're going to switch their things around here to keep their material safe because it looks like they want to compete for that tycoon ambition. So that's them. And that was the end of that round. White led with that 6 of aggression, so they're going to take the initiative. Boom. And we'll trash all those cards. And white leads off. So white is going to lead with administration 3. So white right here is going to lead with administration 3. And let's see what happens. They're going to tax a white city in arrow 4 with a card action. So you're going to tax here to gain a relic, which you're going to throw over here. And they're also going to influence. They're influencing mining interest and farseers. So the 2 cards we thought were the most powerful. they are gunning for, which is not cool. And then blue is going to surpass with administration 7, which annoys us because we were hoping that we could take the initiative here with our 6, but oh well. So blue's going to play administration 7. They will seize the initiative because they're playing a 7. And they are going to tax that city again. So arrow 4 for another relic, right? Sorry, no, right, sorry. Yeah, for a, no, sorry, hex 4, here. So they're going to do hex 4 for another material. So they have 3 material, blue does. That's not cool. I don't like that at all. So they've got 3 material. And then white is going to, yellow is going to surpass with administration 5. I'm losing it over here. So they're going to surpass that 3 with administration 5. And they're going to tax the yellow city in hex 1. So over here to gain 1 more material. So they can compete as well for that tycoon ambition. And then they're going to influence skirmishers and court enforcers. So the 2 that don't have anybody on them, they're going to go there. And now it's our turn. So unfortunately, again, the 7 means that blue's going to go before us. But white is going to be going last. So that tells us something very particular, which is that we could play the 6 to surpass. And instead of taxing, which we would, like to do, we can instead influence over farseers. So let's do that. So we're not going to take any prelude actions. We're just going to play the 6 to surpass. We're going to skip over the prelude. We're going to influence farseers. And for our other action, we'll influence farseers again, with the hope that blue and yellow will not compete for farseers, which I don't think that they will. So I think we're in a good position there. Let's end our turn. So these all get trashed, and blue will kick us off. So blue is going to play mobilization 2, which we don't mind that. We've got a mobilization 5. That could be quite handy, actually. They are going to not declare an ambition. They're going to skip over their prelude. And they're going to influence mining interest, and skirmishers. So they're going to use all 4 of their actions to just influence the court, get over top of some people. Very cool. And then yellow is going to surpass with mobilization 7. No. So yellow is going to seize the initiative. I guess we don't mind that too much, because they'll have to cede initiative to us at some point if they still have it, like next turn, I think, because they're down a card because they'd seized earlier. So they seize the initiative. They just have 1 action, and what they're going to do is they're going to keep competing for skirmishers. They're going to influence skirmishers. All right, so now we have mobilization 5 ourselves. And so let's go ahead and surpass. We won't take the initiative, but let's play mobilization 5. And then what I'm thinking is, let's go ahead and secure with our relic. So we will use our relic to take a secure action of farseers, which is going to take this white agent captive, bring our other agents home, and now we have farseers, which, like I said before, this allows us when we're declaring ambitions to swap cards, which is super powerful, but also we can just discard it to get an extra card, which we might want to do if we're looking like we're not going to end the round or the chapter with initiative. It's always great to end the chapter with initiative by having an extra card. So there we go. We just did that, and the new card came out was Sworn Guardians. So I have this deck organized through all of its suits. Got, Sworn Guardians right there. That one is rivals cannot steal your resources and other guild cards. If this card's stolen, you bury it. That's a really fine way to just keep yourself safe from the many raids and stealing that can go on. So very cool. Here's a question. Do we want to influence with our psionic. Because the one thing I'm thinking, let's see, so, oh, we didn't move it yet, but, no, we did, yeah. So yellow seized initiative. So yellow will be going before us. We have no relics left, so we probably don't want to get too crazy with trying to one-up somebody on the court. So let's just go ahead and skip over the rest of our prelude. And moving could be okay, but I don't think we want to move right now. I think what we want to do is we want to, by the way, I'll smooth this dice. Let's just go ahead and influence, and hope that white doesn't blast us with a bunch of, agents going over top of Sworn Guardians. So let's do that. So we'll influence Sworn Guardians. I'd be tempted to do Court Enforcers, but yellow's going to go first. So let's do Sworn Guardians instead, and we will end the turn. So that is us, and white is then going to do mobilization 6. Jeez. And they are going to influence on mining interest. So white is going to go, and they're competing heavily for mining interest as well. All right, so that is them. That is the end of that round. Just 2 rounds left here. We got yellow is going to lead with construction 7. So I actually love this. Well, no, dang it, because they're declaring. Shoot. Okay, so they're going to play 7. They're going to, it could be fine still for us. They're going to declare, actually, this could be great for us. Yeah, I think so. They're going to declare an ambition as they play this 7. And they're declaring Warlord. So they're declaring Warlord. And what else happens there? They're just giving their prelude, and they're just taking the 1 construction action. They'll build a yellow ship in Hex 1, which they can do because they at some point built a starport, which I think I somehow missed. I don't know when I missed that. That's funny, but they definitely built a starport here, and they're gonna build a ship there. Yeah, I'm not sure when I'm gonna just look at the board real fast, make sure everything otherwise looks good. Everything is looking great. I did not miss any other action, but at some point they must have let's see, red, do we have one more? Oh, I see. I don't know if I did this properly. We should have one more ship in gate 5. Cool, we're all good, because Shaper has one more ship in their C system. I think that's what I missed. So cool, I think we are looking good there, and now we go. So, I mean, yeah, we should definitely play Construction 5. Let's go ahead and do Construction 5 to surpass. We might gain the initiative here, which would be excellent, but we're not going to seize, so let's skip over that. And let's just go ahead and use Farseers. I love this administration too, so I'm certainly not going to discard it, but let's just go ahead and use Farseers now. So we're going to discard no cards. We're just going to discard Farseers to draw a card from the bottom of the action card deck. So this will go to the discard pile, and the card that we draw off the bottom is a mobilization 3. Not bad. That could allow us to do some serious influencing, and then go into next chapter. We should, by rights, have an aggression card, which will allow us to secure and maybe gain a bunch of captives. So, all right, so let's do that. That was us, and that is our prelude. Oh, we still have 2 build actions. So let's see, for building, you know what? Let's go ahead and build a starport here in Arrow 1. Build a starport there, and then that will allow us to also then, as our other action, build a ship. So that can be our little starport factory, or starship factory there. And we'll end our turn. White is going to surpass with construction 1. So they get a ton of construction actions. Let's see what they do with that. They are going to, in their prelude, secure mining interest with a relic. So white's going to use their relic to secure mining interest. because they have 3. So they're going to take 2 blue agents captive, and they're going to take Mining Interest, which is a great card. I wish they didn't have that. That's a great card. It's just so fun to be able to turn your construction actions into something super useful and something you can kind of pass down the line instead of sort of just building stuff that other people can go destroy. So the new card in the court is Admin Union, which I love union cards. So that's great. And let's see what else they did. They, with their construction actions, built a white city in Arrow 4. So here, they're building another city. Gross. Because now they can get a bunch of relics when they tax. Don't like that. And they're going to build a white ship in Hex 6, which is fine. Just fine by me. And then they're going to forfeit a couple actions there because they just can't build. Blue's going to surpass with construction 2. And I imagine they're going to also have to forfeit some stuff. So construction 2. And they're just going to build a starport and a ship in Hex 5 like we did. Little copycats. So a starport and another ship. That's a little bit scary, but that's all right. And then we take the initiative. Heck yeah. So we take the initiative. Our first time having initiative this game. And I think that we have some interesting choices here. We are not going to win Tycoon or Tyrant, so we shouldn't really bother declaring either. But I think what I want to do is, I don't want to play, I forget what all has been played of both of these, but I really don't want to play Administration 2 and let other people tax. I just don't want them to tax. So let's go ahead and play Mobilization 3. Let's go ahead and do that. And we will not declare the ambition. We don't need to do anything in our prelude. And so with our actions, what I'm thinking is, why don't we influence on Admin Union? So Admin Union, let's do Admin Union for sure, for 1. Yellow is Court Enforcers. I don't know if I want that. And there's Skirmishers. I mean, Skirmishers could be fun to try and compete for. You know what? Why don't we do 1 on Admin Union, but then let's actually do Skirmishers and try and compete for. No. Let's do Skirmishers and we'll do Admin Union. So we'll kind of, I don't know. We'll just do that. I don't know if that's the smartest, but we're gonna do that. White is going to copy. They are going to, that was probably unwise, but we'll see how it goes. White's going to copy. So they just choose a card, going to copy. They're going to influence Court Enforcers. So they're going to fight for that. And then blue is going to pivot with construction 6, like so. And they're going to build another ship in Hex 5. And then yellow had no cards, so that they're done. And that is the end of that round. So final round, no one has cards except for us. And we're going to play the 2 of Administration. Now, very quickly, we could tax. We can't tax for a material because there is no material remaining. Everyone else has gobbled up all the material. So unfortunately, we can't tax that city. That really hurts. And then this also can't tax for fuel or material. So yeah, we're certainly not going to declare the ambition. So we'll skip that. And we don't need to do any prelude actions. We will tax. So let's go ahead and tax the gate station, the gate city. We're going to tax it for another psionic. So let's grab that. And then we have actually kind of too many. Let's actually put that into the stronger position, keep that safe. And then we actually have like too many influence actions, which is a good problem. So let's go ahead and do influence skirmishers influence skirmishers. So we're going to go over top on skirmishers. And then let's actually influence sworn guardians. And so my thinking here is that now going to next round, either way, we actually have psionics too. But as long as we get one aggression card, we can definitely get at least skirmishers and admin union, possibly sworn guardians as well. We probably want to grab that actually too, just so we can protect ourselves from being raided. So yeah, so that's us. That is the end of the turn. That is the end of the chapter. And let's score ambitions. So unfortunately, we are not in the running at all for that. White and blue. So blue has 3 material. White has, what do they have? They had 2 fuel and mining interest. So they actually tie for Tycoon, and they'll both score 3. So white and blue score 3. That's not bad. That's not good for them, which is great for us. And then for Warlord, blue and yellow are both actually also tied for Warlord. And so they're both just going to score 2. So yellow gets 2, blue gets 2. So it should be blue with 5, white with 3, yellow with 2, and us with 0. Womp womp. We just didn't have a chance but that's that. So the white ships are going to go back to white's, their supply. Fuel drinker is going to lose their fuel. They drink it up. And then this ambition is going to flip, or this ambition marker, I should say, to a 4. And we reset. This moves to chapter 2. And that was the end of chapter 1. All right, let's go. Let's see what cards we get. So I like to reorganize the cards between chapters. So if you don't mind, I'll grab my cards and then we'll reorganize as we chat about our hand. So, all right. So I got a 1, 2, 3 of administration. That's very interesting. 1, 2, and 3 of administration. Lots of taxing. I don't mind that. We can tax for psionics and maybe eventually some relics, and weapons could also be helpful. We have a 6 of mobilization, and we have a 4 and a 6 of aggression. So no construction, but I think that's fine because we have a material, so we could build with that if we really desperately want to build something. But we also could do things like use our skirmishers to just deploy ships. So we could just discard to get ships. Let me organize these. So 7, 5. Yeah, we got an aggression card, which is clutch. So that is good. Throw all those down. There's a bunch of high administration cards. That's a little unfortunate because we're never going to be able to surpass unless someone's declaring, but that's okay. The 6 of mobilization's pretty solid. And then, yeah, again, we don't have any construction. So unfortunately, I'm just scared that people are going to be declaring ambitions on construction and we won't get to play. We won't get easy ways of seizing. But that's okay. We are going to be grabbing that admin union card. So we also could grab a higher admin card if we want to, like the super sweet 5 of administration, which I love. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. This is us. And we kept the initiative, so we will start. So the question is, do we start with a 6 or a 4 of aggression? And are we declaring ambitions with that? I don't think we want to declare Warlord, because I don't think we're necessarily planning to fight this round so much. And we could declare Empath for psionics, because we do have 2 psionics. We can pretty easily get psionics. But is it worth declaring right now? And what was the other thing? Oh, declaring now and other people being able to have a bunch of free aggression actions. I think we're fine. Let's do that. Let's be risky. So we'll play the 6 of aggression. And because I don't think they're going to attack us. I think they have other targets so they can fight amongst themselves. So let's do the 6, and we'll declare empath. This feels a little bit ballsy, but you know, why do you play ARCS if not to be ballsy? Let's do that, and then let's go ahead, and I do think that we should probably go ahead and secure everything, because again, we just did aggression, so if someone did go attack us, it'd be nice to make sure that no one can just steal our good cards like Admin Union. So let's go ahead and use Psionic. So this Psionic to take an action of the lead card to secure. So we'll secure Sworn Guardians. And then that'll be the end of our prelude. And then we'll just secure with our 2 actions, securing the other 2 and gaining a bunch of captives. Which, by the way, we have 1/3. So that we could use that to declare Tyrant, or we could just hold off and declare Tyrant next chapter. That's probably what we want to do. So we could be thinking, no, let's keep gathering captives. Let's kind of put that in the bag, and then maybe we could like double declare Tyrant next chapter and try and get a bunch of points. So we just got a bunch of cards, and a bunch of cards, new cards came out, including cards that I was scared of that I think would be protected against. So again, we got Skirmishers, which helps us in battle. We can reroll skirmish dice, or we can just discard this to gain a bunch of ships. We got Sworn Guardians, which people have to steal before they steal other things. And then Admin Union, which allows us to go grab an extra administration card. And that's my whole like basic strategy with ARCS is if you can get an extra card in a chapter, you're just gonna do great, because then you'll end and begin the chapter with initiative if you can do that. So all right, so the cards that came out when we triple secured there was Loyal Engineers. That just allows you to use material even if it's outraged. And then Gatekeepers, which is an incredible card, which we would love because we want to be the gate lords. And then finally, a card I love and hate, Guild Struggle, which could be great or terrible. I think it's going to be good for us because we're kind of protected from it by Sworn Guardians. So I don't really mind that. So, all right, so that was us. Let's end our turn and see what bad stuff they can get up to on their turns. So, all right, White's going to surpass with a 2 of aggression. And they are going to, they're going to discard Mining Interest and steal 4 material. That is crazy. And crazy enough, I don't think they didn't steal our material. So let's do this. They're gonna discard Mining Interest. So Prelude, you may discard this to gain material up to the number of your empty resource slots. If the material supply empties, steal the material instead. So the material supply is already empty. So this is all just stealing. And they chose to steal all 4 of these material from blue and yellow and not the material from us. So that is quite good for us. We are a little bit lucky there. White then has, that was just a prelude action. And then they have 3 card actions with their 2 of aggression. So they're going to battle blue in gate 6. So they're over here. They're going to battle blue. They're rolling 2 blue dice, and they got blanks. They re-rolled with Empath's Vision, because if you remember, Empath's Vision says, while Empath is declared, if you roll any dice, even outside battle, you may re-roll any number of them once. So they re-rolled them, and they got blanks again. Then they battled blue in gate 6, and they got a blank and a hit, and they damaged the blue ship. And then they battled blue again in gate 6, and they got a blank and a hit and destroyed that ship. So white gained that. I'm trying to think if they could have re-rolled that. What is it? Once walls declared, you can roll them any number of times, any number of them once. I think it's just once per dice roll. So I don't know why they didn't re-roll their blanks. They're the next two times, but oh well. Blue is going to surpass with a 3 of aggression. And let's see what they do. So they are going to move 4 blue ships from Hex 5 to gate 5. So is that right? 4 blue ships from here to gate 5. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4 ships from there. And then blue ship from hex 4 to gate 4. So from hex 4, they're gonna move these 2. And yeah, that's crazy. So they should have 4 ships in here now, 1 right here, and 1 right here. Yeah, they're just trying to make a play for the gates, I guess. If we could get gatekeepers, we could wreck them, which would be awesome. But we'll see what we can do. And so then that was their whole turn. They moved, and then yellow is going to surpass with aggression 7, which will seize the initiative. By the way, we forgot to take the initiative marker that whole time, but they're going to seize the initiative now. And then they're going to skip their prelude, and they're going to just move 3 yellow ships from hex 1 to gate 1. So from here to here. All right. And then they will take the initiative, and they're going to lead with construction 4. Dang it. This is what we were scared of, right? So construction 4. Here we go. And they're going to build a yellow ship in hex 1 with their card action. So they're just going to build a ship in hex 1, protecting themselves. They seem like they're playing pretty safe. Not as dangerously as, blue, who's like up in the gates. White's been kind of White's playing it pretty safe too, I think. Okay, so it goes to us. We are in a strange position here, because we'd really like to get gatekeepers, but also guild struggle would be nice. I think we need to try and get gatekeepers just straight up. So let's go ahead and let's pivot with a 1 of administration. So let's pivot, and the only question here when we pivot is, do we want to take this 1 right now with admin union, or do we wait and try and get like something else? I think we should probably just take it. So let's not seize the initiative. Let's skip over that. Let's go ahead and take our administration card. So go ahead and admin union. We can place it next to this, and we'll take it at the end of the round. And the question is, do we want to, here's a real question. Do we want to use skirmishers right now to just get a bunch more ships out at our city? That might be smart, because then we can move and kind of aggress them over here at their place, / could go fight in the gate. But then again, the ability to reroll our skirmish dice could be great, but we only have 1 weapon. So yeah, let's go ahead and use it. So we're going to use skirmishers. Excuse me. Right now, skirmishers, we're going to discard it, and we're going to throw 3 ships into arrow 6. Boom. Let's go. And then we're just going to end our prelude, and we're going to go ahead and influence with our 1 administration action. Let's go ahead and influence gatekeepers. All right. That was a solid turn. Let's see what white does. White's going to copy with a card, and they're just going to build a white ship in hex 6. So right here. Blue's going to surpass with 5 of construction. Here we go. They're going to build a blue ship in hex 5. So they're a little bit scared of our fleet. That's fine. Actually don't mind having ships there for us to attack if we do go attack. And because they had higher than yellow's 4, blue will take the initiative. And let's see. So by the way, admin union is going to discard now and give us back the 1. These 2 cards get discarded. That copy card goes back up here. And So then blue is going to lead. So unfortunately for us, our worst fears are coming true, and they're leading again with construction. At least he's not declaring, but yeah, he's doing 2 of construction, and he's just building another ship here, which again, I don't mind. Let's go in and wreck them. And yellow is going to copy. So that was blue. Yellow is going to copy, and they are going to build another ship in Hex 1. Lots of fleet amassing. Now it goes to us. We really want that gatekeepers, I think. So let's go ahead and just secure it. We have no other way to secure it because we have no relics right now. We can't tax for relics, so let's just do it. So we'll use our 4 of aggression. We'll pivot to the 4 of aggression. We will, let's not bother seizing initiative. Let's skip over that. Let's nothing to do in our prelude, and we'll just simply secure gatekeepers. Boom. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen gatekeepers, you got a little purgle on the front there, and it says when you battle in a gate, you may collect 2 more dice. Prelude, you may discard this to place 1 ship in each gate. So we're not going to use that discard ability for a bit because we have only 2 ships remaining in our supply. But the ability to battle so powerfully in our in gates is awesome because we have gate stations and we're doing our whole kind of gate strategy. So, all right, a great card came out, shipping interest. Same deal as mining interest, but for fuel. I would love to have that card. Yeah, I would love to have shipping interest. I would love to have guild struggle, although there's no cards to steal right now. So let's see how this goes. That is the end of our turn. And white is going to surpass with construction 3 finally. So 3 of construction. They're just going to build 1 more white ship in Hex 6. That scares me a little bit. I don't know what white's going to do with their fleets. And white is going to then take the initiative because their 3 was the highest there. So white takes the initiative now. We're going to go last, which is not a bad place to be. You see what we're going to be dealing with. And let's go. This is good. We are in a good position because white is going to lead with administration 4. So administration 4, and they are declaring. So they're going to declare warlord, which is what the 4 does. They'll declare warlord. Currently, no one has any, white has 1 trophy. White has 1 trophy. We don't have any, but we could tax for a weapon, and then hopefully we can actually turn a card late game or at some point into a really big attack. So let's see. This is going to be administration 0 is what we're following. But so white played administration 4, became a 0. They skipped over their prelude. They're going to influence shipping interest, loyal engineer, and court enforcer. So all 3 of their actions are going to be influencing these cards. Very cool. Blue is going to copy an administration. They're going to tax the red city in gate 5. They're taxing our city. Damn you. They're going to capture a red agent when they do that. And they're going to tax for a psionic because that's one of the cities in this sector. Dang. Okay, so blue has psionic here and a relic here. And yeah, so that was them. Yellow is surpassing with a 6 of administration. Darn. So 6 of administration. So they will be taking the initiative, it looks like. And they're going to influence guild struggle and loyal engineers. I don't like that. I don't want them to take guild struggle. But I also don't really want to fight them for it because there's nothing for us to take. The only cards to take right now are Sworn Guardians. So unfortunately, they will take our Sworn Guardians, presumably, if they take guild struggle, which is not good. But that's them. So we can now surpass with a 1, 2, or 3. We might as well do the 1, probably. Although we could do the 3. The 3 would give us only, 3 actions. Maybe we do the 1, because what we can do is tax. Fortunately, we can't tax the second time. We can only tax the 1 time. And then we could just, well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play the 1. We'll play the 1 of administration. So one clever idea I'm thinking of is what we could do is use our psionic to copy the lead card, tax for a weapon. Then we could spend that weapon, and then all 4 of these actions could be battle actions if we wanted to. And we could just really like destroy this fleet. That might be smart. And then we just know that we have a bunch of trophies for Warlord. Let's just do that, right? Let's just do that. That sounds really fun. So let's do it. Let's do the 1. We'll surpass. We will not seize the initiative. We will tax with psionics. We're going to use psionic to tax for a weapon from this city. There we go. The weapon we'll put the material here and the weapon here. Although I think we want to immediately use the weapon now. So yeah, there's no reason to wait really. Let's just go ahead and use add battle option. So when you spend a weapon, you can add battle option to your card, right? Yeah, to your card. And now we have like 4 battle actions. So let's go ahead and battle. So we will battle here. And because of gatekeepers, we have 2 extra dice. So we get to roll 5 dice. They have 4 fresh ships, so it'd be foolhardy to do any assault dice yet. Let's just roll 5 blue dice and see what we get. So we rolled 5 blue dice, and we got not a horrible roll, but not a great roll. 2 hits and 3 misses. So underperforming, but that's fine. So we're gonna damage 2 ships. We got plenty of battles. Let's battle again. Still probably too risky to do any assault dice. Let's just hit them again. We have so many attacks we could do here. Oh, dang. Horrible roll. We only got 1 hit. That's fine. So we'll damage another ship. And now it's certainly worth rolling aggression. So now the question is, do we roll, let's see. How many assault dice do we roll, basically? They have 5 hits. So we want to deal 5 hits with this roll if we could. Or we could literally just roll a bunch of blue dice still and just try not to take damage still. And just not worry about influencing. It'd be fun to influence guild struggle, right? Yeah, it would be. So let's roll 2 blue dice and 3 red dice. And see if that does the trick for us, right? No, 4 red dice. Let's do it. So 4 red dice and a blue dice. Let's go. Battle against blue. 4 and 1. All right. So we rolled a hit. We rolled a double hit. We rolled another double hit. We rolled a double hit and a damage, and a hit and a damage. So we took 2 hits. This is blue. Should we lose a ship? I think we should. So we're going to deal both of our hits on one of our ships, and it'll just be gone. So it is destroyed by blue. But then we deal 8 hits. There were only 5 damage to do. We destroyed all 4 of those ships and took them as trophies. That's pretty dang good. That's going to be hard for anyone to overcome that trophy lead for Warlord. So that feels good. The only sad thing is that we have no psionics now. But blue only has 1 psionic. So, and we still have a couple of admin cards. So hopefully we can tax a couple times, maybe. Hopefully match them, but we'll see. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Let's go ahead, and we cannot tax, so we'll go ahead and influence guild struggle. Boom. And that is the end of our turn. And then the yellow should be taking the initiative here. And let's see what they do for their turn. So yellow will lead with mobilization 4. We don't mind that. They'll do mobilization 4. Let's see what they do. They are not declaring the ambition, unfortunately. We'd love for Warlord to be declared. They're going to move 3 yellow ships from Arrow 5 to Gate 5. What, really? From Arrow 5? Whoa. They're moving here to here? What are you doing? Trying to battle us, dude? What's going on? Or they want to tax gain psionics. You sneaky. Yeah, that's what they're doing. But then they're going to influence loyal engineers and guild struggle. So we're going to do this and this. All right. That is them. We should go ahead and do the 6 of mobilization. So let's go ahead and do that. We might be able to take initiative here, which would be great. So surpass. Let's not seize the initiative. Let's skip over our prelude. Yeah. And then what we'll do is, well, here's a question. Is it worth influencing? Oh, I have an idea. 4 ships. Yeah, this is cool. Let's influence guild struggle just the once. And then let's move 4 ships from Arrow 6 to Hex 5. Because hypothetically, we can now tax blue. Let's see how that goes. Unfortunately, blue could also attack us, but let's just do that. Let's see what happens. Okay, so what's then going to happen is white is next. They are going to pivot with aggression 5. So they're going to do aggression 5, and this is good for us, I think, because they're going to secure court enforcers. So they're going to secure court enforcers, taking a yellow captive, and they now have this card, which is good because now we have something to steal if we go over top of guild struggle. And then a very, very, very powerful card comes out that we would love to have and should probably move heaven and earth to get loyal keepers, which can turn any resource into a relic, which would allow us to really run the court our way. So that comes out. And that was their turn. And then blue is pivoting with a 6 of construction. And unfortunately for them, they're pivoting, but they're making a dumb move. This does happen on occasion. I'm not sure what causes this to happen, but they're doing a 6 of construction, but then they're not building. They could build a damaged ship here, but they're not doing that. That's the only place they could build, and they're not taking that action. So they're just passing. They're just forfeiting their actions, which seems dumb. Like, why not, copy and influence loyal keepers? But maybe they're just scared that then they're going to get we're going to play over top of them, and it's just not going to work out for them. So I guess it's not the absolute dumbest, but I feel like, I don't know. I don't know. I just think they could have done all sorts of smart things, but whatever. They could have psionicked to influence loyal keepers, and then relic to grab it, and then they're in a much stronger place. But then they're vulnerable to guild struggle. I don't know. Anyways, I don't need to question or judge their decisions, but that's kind of just what I see. All right, so here we go. It's back to us. We have initiative because we played that 6 of mobilization. So this is cool. The question is now, do we do the 2 or the 3? And with that, sort of, do we declare Tyrant? I think that's my question. Let's just go with the 2 to begin with. So we'll do the 2 of administration. And we have a pretty clear game plan here. We're not going to declare an ambition. We're not going to do anything with prelude. We are going to tax, and we're going to tax this city for psionic and capture their one of their agents as a captive. Boom. Grabbed a psionic, which we'll put there. And I think we can also, we could change the planet type. That's hilarious. No, we don't want to do that. That'd be so funny to change it to material with our shaper ability. No, we like it being psionic so that we can tax for psionics. So we're not going to do our shaper ability. So that's done. But I think we can also, yes, we can still tax. Well, here's the interesting thing. We can tax again. But the question is, do we tax for a psionic or for a weapon? And I think we want a psionic. So let's just do that. Let's just tax for a psionic. And we're going to throw that psionic into our more secured location. Okay. And we cannot tax anymore, but we can influence. What we want to do is influence guild struggle, right? Because everyone else has only one card left. So they can't really easily influence and get over top of us on loyal keepers. I don't think there's any trickery they can do this round to make that happen. And so what I'm thinking is, let's go ahead and influence guild struggle, and then we'll also influence loyal keepers. So let's go ahead and throw some agents like so. Okay, and then we will end our turn. White is going to pivot with 5 of mobilization, and they're going to use their court enforcers to place a bunch of ships. Yikes. They didn't need more ships. This is scary. They have 3 ships. They're placing them in Hex 6, right here. But then with their mobilization ability, they're going to move 4 ships from Gate 6 from Hex 6 to Gate 6. Oops. Ships falling over. So I think they now have those 6 ships there. Eesh, sorry. That was one of their card actions. And that was, sorry, what did they do? They moved, they placed those 3 ships in, whatever they did, they placed the 3 ships, I think, in Gate 6. And then they moved 4 of these ships to Gate 5. That's what they did. They're trying to go press us. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And then blue is going to pivot with a 7 of construction. And again, blue is similarly not going to take an action. They're in the same position. They're not taking an action there. Why would they do that? Why didn't they copy to tax? I don't know. But every other move has been pretty smart by the AI, like smart enough. But I don't know why blue is throwing away their actions like this. I don't quite get it. Okay. But then yellow is going to surpass. So they're surpassing with the 7 of administration. So 7 of administration. They will seize the initiative from us, which we don't mind because they have no cards left. And they are going to use their relic in their prelude to secure loyal engineers. So they're going to secure loyal engineers, grabbing a captive. So they've got 1 captive. They have loyal engineers now. And they get their agents back. And they are done. Sorry, they're done with their prelude. But then for their actual action, they're going to influence the card that just came out, which is Secret Order. So Secret Order, pretty good card in the right hands. When you declare Keeper or Empath, do not place the 0 marker. So they're going to influence Secret Order with their 1 action. Very cool. All right. Then they will take the initiative, and then they'll pass the initiative to us because they have no cards. No one else has cards, just we have a card. And this is what we like, right? This is what we like. So we're going to lead with 3 of administration. And now I do think that we want to declare. So the idea, if we declare, it's 3 points for us, it's 2 points for white. I don't think we mind white getting those 2 points because Warlord right now is tied, I think. So yeah, so they're not going to get second place from Warlord. White's not going to score Empath. So I think we're fine with them scoring this. And yes, we have 6 captives, which seems like a pretty good lead, but it's also going to wipe the slate. We're going to get more captives once we secure Guild Struggle. And so I think we're fine. So let's just do the Administration 3. So let's do this. Let's declare the ambition. Getting Tyrant declared. And then the question now is, what do we do with our Prelude? Because we definitely want to tax for a weapon to get a weapon so we're ready to do like heavy combat next turn. But we also, it could be good to do something with our resources we have here. So maybe we should spend our material to build another ship at up at Arrow 1. Just so we have more ships up there to be able to call on. I don't know. Doesn't seem like necessarily the best. But if we ever moved out and if we still have gatekeepers, we could then wreck with them. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's build with the material. We're gonna spend that to build a ship here. Actually, the cool thing is technically we could tax to get that back. Interesting. No, I guess that's good. So that's what we'll do. And then we will be done. And now we have 3 actions. Let's go ahead and tax again. So let's tax for a weapon, right? I think so. Yeah, let's tax for a weapon from here. Getting a weapon. Let's then tax again for a psionic. Yeah. Well, let's see. Do we want to tax, or do we want to just influence on shipping interest and go over top on that? Because then that would get us more. Yeah, more. Yeah, I think that could be good. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's influence on, because we're winning on psionics already with just the 2 that we have. So let's influence shipping interest. Let's do it. We'll start off next turn with a strong captive lead if we can just play an aggression. So we just have to draw into an aggression card. So that's good. Okay, that is the end of our turn. That's the end of the chapter. So chapter 2 has ended. Let's see who scored ambitions. So we are scoring first place for Tyrant. So Tyrant, we got the 3 points because we had 6 compared to White had 3. So we got 3 points. White scored second place, so they got 2 up to 5. Then we also scored first place Warlord because we had 4 ships, and then Blue and White were tied, so they scored nothing. So we'll score 4 points for Warlord up to 7. And then we also scored first place for Empath for 5 points up to 12. And who had second there was Blue had 1. So they're going to score 3 points for second, which is not bad, up to 8. So now we have 12. Blue has 8, White has 5, and yellow has 2. The only sad thing now is that all of these captives and trophies go away. Everyone's going to get all those back. That's a little sad. And White has a ton of material, which is a little scary because if they declared Tycoon, then that would be pretty bad for us, I think. But yeah, all these captives are going to go back to their people. But that was a good chapter. And now we're going into this next chapter where, again, we should draw an aggression card. And if we do, we will be in a really, really strong position after that. Like I think quite strong. Even though we're getting pressed over here at this city, I don't think they're going to attack us. I think they just want to tax over top of us, which is fine. They can take some of our captives. It's fine. So, all right, this is going to flip. So we got 6, 5, and 4 for the points. And goes into chapter 3. And let's see what our cards are. Yes, we drew an aggression. So let's see what we got here. Last thing I was going to look at as we're grabbing our cards, and then as I organize the cards, is what was I going to look at? Oh, so 6-5-4. We are at 12, and it takes 27 to win. So if we won, the 6 and the 5, that put us at 23, right? If we won all 3 of them, we'd get to 27, because that's 15 on top of 12. So that would win us the game. So if we could get all 3 ambitions and score them this chapter, we'd win the game. Or if we could score 2 of them on 1 and have a bunch of cities, which I don't know if we can build that many cities, but maybe. Let's see what we got. No construction, so I don't think we're gonna build cities. We got 3 and a 4 of aggression, which is exactly what we needed. We got 2 and a 3 of mobilization. And we got a 6 and a 7 of administration. I quite like that hand, and totally fine not having construction. So the only interesting thing here is truly, like, are they gonna battle us here or battle us here? Because I'm about to play an aggression card, and I think I should declare with it, but I'm not sure if I should. I guess I could play the 4 and not declare. I could declare later with the 3, possibly. Yeah, we'll see. Let me organize the remaining cards here. So that is great to draw into an aggression card. Like, it's not guaranteed by any means. There's only 7 cards. Totally possible for us to just draw no. I mean, we've been drawing like no construction. So really nice that we drew into a administration, or sorry, an aggression card there. I think those high administration cards are going to be pretty good, actually, because we can keep the taxing to a modest amount. Yeah, and kind of control from there. The mobilization, I'm not sure. That'll be weird. I'm not sure how well we're going to, like, use those. But, all right, let's see. That is that. And so let's just secure that court and go from there. So let's go ahead and play the... Well, hang on. So if we do play at 3 or 4, if we played one of those and then used psionics, we could use a psionic to secure loyal keepers. We could use then a weapon to secure guild struggle, if we even wanted to at that point. We could use a psionic to secure shipping interest, and we still have 2 actions left for battling. So we could bring these ships down a peg, or we don't even do that. We just secure, say, like loyal keepers and shipping interest, and hold off on guild struggle. That might be fine. Let's do something like that. And we probably want to battle here too. Jeez, there's a lot of places we want to battle. Yeah, so let's do this. Let's play the 4 of aggression. Let's do this. 4 of aggression. So we're gonna lead with that. We're gonna go ahead and shoot. Do we declare? Because if we declare, the 1 and the 2 give them 3 aggression actions, which is bad. We don't want that. So no, we'll play just, we will skip the warlord. We will not declare warlord yet. It's a little sad, but I think we got to do that. So let's go ahead. You go ahead and use our psionic to secure loyal keepers. All right. And that's going to allow us to spend any resources as relics, which is great. And call to action comes out. Oh, I love call to action. So good. When secured, draw an action card from the bottom of the action discard pile. Discard call to action. We really want that. So we'll finagle to get that. We'll be good. Especially because we have loyal keepers. We'll be fine. So let's go ahead and secure. Let's just use our weapon right now I don't think this is a bad idea, to secure shipping interest. So we're going to secure shipping interest, gets us a captive. And now that could be interesting, because that could fill us up with resources, which we could then later use for battling. Let's see. And Loyal Empaths comes out. Another killer card. One of the top cards in the game. So good. And so we still have one more psionic we could do. We could also just discard our shipping interest to get a bunch of fuel. I think we do. Oh, do we want that fuel yet? I don't know if we want the fuel yet. Do we? Because then people might attack us for the fuel. So maybe we don't do that. No, maybe it's smart. Because maybe people are attacking us anyways. Let's go ahead and spend the psionic right now. Because in low engineers, we use anything as material. Beep, 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 beep. No, we're going to hold on to our psionic. We're going to hold on to our psionic, and we are going to just go ahead and end our prelude. And we're going to go ahead, we have 2 actions now. We're going to battle in Hex 5 against blue. And we're just going to roll 4 blue dice and hope for the best. No! So we rolled 4 blue dice, and we only got a single hit. Boom. So, what do we want to do here? Do we want to roll some assault dice and just go for it? Or do we or do we just let them attack us if they want to? We could just secure Guild Struggle right now if we want to. But Guild Struggle would do what? It would take loyal engineers? Like, do we really need that? But it gives us captives. Let's battle. Let's battle again. And what we're going to do against blue is we're going to roll 4 raid dice. We're just going to go hard. So 4 raid dice and see what happens. So we had kind of a crazy roll here. This is not good for us, but it's not the worst. We rolled a hit and a hit on us, a hit on them, hit on us, and then 2 hit with an intercept. So it triggers 1 intercept with 2 fresh ships. So we take 4 hits, they take 4 hits. So it's kind of annoying, but I think it's gonna be okay. So let's literally let them take 2 of our ships, and we're gonna knock out 2 of their ships. So they just have 1 ship left. That was not really a great battle, but I didn't want them just pot-shotting us. I don't know. That seems like maybe it was not the right choice. Maybe we should have just rolled a bunch of blue dice and seen what happened. But that's what we did. So we lost 2 ships. We took 2 ships, and that was it. We're gonna end our turn. So that was a long decision, but I feel like there was a key decision there, and so we'll see what happens. White is gonna copy, and they're gonna move. They're gonna move 4 white ships from Gate 5 to Hex 5. Very interesting. So from here to here. That kind of makes sense to me. And then blue is going to surpass with Aggression 5. Yikes. So Aggression 5 from blue, which is actually what we hoped to avoid them hitting. I think they would have attacked us here if they had 3 fresh ships. So instead, they are going to battle yellow. So in Gate 1. So they're going to roll 2 dice here. They roll a hit and a blank. And so they'll deal 1 hit, damaging a yellow ship. And then they're going to battle again, rolling 2 hits. Good for them. They're going to destroy this, and they're going to damage 1. So they'll take another trophy. Pretty good for blue. But yellow triggered Beloved. That's kind of gross. So yellow is the elder. So Beloved says, after defending in battle, you may influence if the attacker took any trophies. So they're going to influence, I think, loyal empaths is what they decided to do. They're going to, oh wow. So they're going to influence loyal empaths right there. And then it's yellow's turn. They're also going to copy, and they're going to just secure. So they're going to secure loyal empaths, which would be great, except for the fact that I'm totally going to steal that now with Guild Struggle. So this is not a bad situation for us. So they're securing that. And Silver Tongues came out. Wow, so another way to steal cards. Very interesting. Or steal court cards, guild cards. All right, so that is them. That is the end of that round, and then blue played the 5 of aggression, so they're gonna take the initiative. And what will they do? Blue's not in a bad position. They're kind of our main rival right now. They're gonna lead with construction 7. They're not declaring, and they're simply going to repair the ship right here. So they have a little bit of defense. Yellow is going to pivot with aggression 2. And they're going to secure again. So they're going to secure secret order. Very cool. So they have secret order, loyal engineers, and loyal empaths. And what card comes out is the Material Cartel. Obviously an iconic card. You keep the material supply on that card. Then after scoring, rivals have to discard all their material. Super cool. And that is them. So it's to us. It's a construction. So again, of course, with construction, we can't do much. But I guess it's the 7 anyway, so I really shouldn't cry about it. So here, though, very interesting. Do we use our... Well, hang on, we don't need to use an aggression. We can use our psionic as a relic because of loyal keepers. So what we could do here is we could just pivot with like the 2 of mobilization to just influence like call to action, for example. So we could secure that later. Let's probably do that. So let's go ahead and use the 2 of mobilization. We'll pivot. So 2, pivot. We're going to not seize the initiative. And we're going to go ahead and secure guild struggle using psionic as if it was a resource by using our loyal keepers card. So we're going to secure guild struggle, which gives us 2 captives, which is awesome. And guild struggle then shuffles all guild cards from the court discard pile into the court deck, and then you discard guild struggle. So these are going to go in here. Sorry, we're going to steal. Oh, and what we're going to steal, by the way, with guild struggle is loyal empaths. So let's go ahead and steal loyal empaths. Not so much because we need it, but because we don't want them to have it. So we're going to steal loyal empaths and take 2 captives. And the next card that comes out is Relic Fence. So Relic Fence comes out, and then let's just sort the court deck again real fast because it's way easier to search through it if it's ordered. So because all those cards were shuffled back in, we could expect to see them, so they are right here. Cool. Okay, so then what else happened? So that was we secured guild struggle, we stole loyal empaths, Relic Fence came out, we got agents, we have 3 captives, so we're winning again on captives in a pretty big way. The question is now, do we or do we not discard shipping interest in our prelude to gain 4 fuel? Because if we did, then we could use those fuel as both psionics and relics, because we have both loyal empaths and loyal keepers, which is epic. But is it worth it to do it right this second, or should we wait? And I think we should probably go ahead and use it, right? Probably. Yeah, I think we should. So we're going to go ahead and do it. So let's go ahead and discard shipping interest in our prelude to fill up. So we have 4 open slots, so we'll fill up with fuel, which you could look at those as psionics and relics and whatever we want them to be, which is super cool. We don't have to do anything other than it might be smart to move our 2 ships here. That might actually be really smart. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Why don't we use a fuel as a fuel to simply move from hex 5 here to gate 5, which just means that we have a much better protected city, although maybe we want this one also. But it's better protected. They can't tax us easily, and then we could also just hit them with a huge attack if we want to, and that way they can't just easily get captives from us. Now, what I'm afraid of is white's going to probably move over and take captives from us, but maybe not, because maybe they want the psionics more from blue. So okay, we'll end our prelude, and we still have one action with the card we pivoted with. We're just going to influence call to action, because that would just help us so much to have an extra card. So, and then that's us. All right, white will pivot with administration 2, and they are going to tax the blue city as we thought they would, and they're going to capture a blue agent. They're going to gain a psionic, and because they are pivoting, their insatiable fuel drinker ability will give them a fuel as well. So they're going to discard 2 material, it looks like, when they do that. So that's kind of dumb of them, but whatever. So they're going to get a material, or a fuel and a psionic, and a blue agent from that action. And so that is white. No one seized, so blue keeps the initiative. And blue is going to lead now with aggression 7. Wow. Aggression 7. And for better or worse, I think kind of for worse for us, they're not declaring an ambition, which kind of sucks. So that's them. They're going to skip their prelude. They're going to battle yellow in gate 1 with their action here. And they're rolling 2 blue dice. They got hit and a miss. So it looks like they're probably going to, they're going to destroy this yellow ship. That triggers the Elder, which I don't like that. Elder's Beloved triggers, and they're going to influence Relic Fence. So luckily they didn't influence Silver Tongues or Call to Action. I don't mind them having Relic Fence. It makes sense to me that they're doing Relic Fence, but I'm just really glad they didn't do Silver Tongues. Yeah, and so then yellow is going to copy the main action. They're going to just secure Relic Fence. So that makes sense to me that they would do that. Now they can get relics out of any other resources. Pretty smart. We'll see. And mining interest is back because it got shuffled in by Guild Struggle. And that is back in the court. So now it's to us. We are following on aggression 7. So we should probably just, well, should we copy or should we tax? Because what we can do is we can use fuel as a relic to just secure call to action or a psionic. Either way, it's going to get call to action. We probably want to battle at least once here, if not twice. I mean, there's 6 dice with gatekeepers, so we probably want to battle twice. So let's go ahead and, what do we want though? What do we want to use here? Let's use the, dang. Do we really need, I don't think we need aggression cards. Really, other than it declares captive, which is pretty good. Maybe what we want to do is instead, oh man, I don't want to use my admin cards though, right? Because I can tax with those. Yeah, let's just use aggression. So we're gonna copy with our aggression 3. So we're gonna play 3 of aggression to copy. I don't know if I'm missing anything big by doing that, but let's just do that. Now we're going to use a couple more of our resources. So let's secure with a fuel. So we'll use a fuel to secure call to action, and that's going to get us a new card. So the card that comes out is going to be a 7 of mobilization. That's all right. That might be great, actually. Let's see. So 7 of mobilization. And then it is going to pull out outrage spreads. I don't love that, but I'm not terribly afraid of this because our 2 best cards are loyal cards. So if someone does declare outrage spreads, it's not the worst, But I really don't want to lose gatekeepers because I feel like that's letting us just control those gates really well, and it lets us control the warlord thing decently as well. So let's the warlord ambition. So yeah, we just secured that with a fuel. What we want to do now is probably battle. So let's battle with a fuel. So we're going to spend a fuel as a psionic using our loyal empaths. We're going to copy the lead card, which is aggression. We're going to battle at this gate. And we're just going to roll a big old softening up hit. So this is classic ARCS battle strategy, is gate 5, yellow. You hit them with a bunch of skirmish dice first if you can. And man, yet again, we have our cold streak hitting us. Could be worse, but it was bad. It was just 2 hits. Come on. So 2 hits. There's only 4 damage left to do. So now I feel like mathematically I do want to just wreck their fleet. So I think I am gonna do 1. Let's see. So an aggression card, or sorry, not aggression, an assault dice. In this case, has 3 hits and 1 intercept and a blank. So it's going to deal us damage it's almost certainly going to deal us damage if it does anything. But it's more likely to deal 2 hits or at least 1 hit. No, we don't need it. We don't need it. Let's just do 6 blue dice again. So let's just end our prelude. And then with our copied action, we'll battle them again. And we'll roll 6 blue dice and hope for a better roll. Gosh, dang it. So we rolled all these 5 blanks and 1 hit. That sucks. That's so lame. Okay. So the question is, do we even bother damaging or do we just destroy one? I mean, we probably should just, gosh, I probably should have done that differently. Whatever. Let's just damage. You know what? Let's just damage. And we can wreck them later. So, gosh. And maybe yellow will just waste some time repairing their ships, though. Yeah. Whatever. That's fine. Let's just do that. That is so annoying. That was actually a pretty bad turn of events. Shoot. Well, white's going to copy. So white's going to copy, and they're going to move ship from hex 6 to gate 6. So from here to here. I don't like this. They're going to probably come into our zone. Heck, yep. They go, how many ships? 3 ships from gate 6 to arrow 6. Darn it. I don't like that. Blue's going to hold the initiative. So, because no one else seized. None of us could afford to seize. So blue's going to hold again. And they're going to lead with mobilization 5, which makes my 7 feel really good right now. So 5. And they're still not going to declare. No ambitions have been declared yet. And they are simply going to influence on silver tongues and mining interest, which are 2 very strong cards that I don't want them to have either of. So they'll do that. Yellow's going to pivot with construction 2. So construction 2 here. And they will build a yellow ship in hex 1. That's fine. And now it's to us. I mean, clearly we should surpass with the mobilization 7 and seize the initiative. But now the question is, what do we do with this one action? Because they have Feastbringer too, which is annoying. So Feastbringer, if you remember this annoying card, when you copy or pivot in order to secure a card, you may influence before or after you secure. Super annoying. Oh, and they have to give guild cards to declare. So no wonder they've not been declared. That's funny. If we influenced one of their cards, though, they will have the next turns. We could just influence immediately after. So let's just do this. Let's go ahead and end our prelude, and we'll simply just influence on Silver Tongues, because I don't want someone stealing our cards. Let's do Silver Tongues. Although, gosh dang, mining interest would be great, but maybe he'll take it and then we can steal it. So that's that. We're done. White's going to copy mobilization, and they're going to influence material cartel. Valid, super valid, and that is the end of that. So it's back to us. we need to declare for sure. But the scary thing is that as soon as we declare, then everyone's going to pivot their strategy and try and do that thing. So what do? I think we want to do mobilization 3. And, right? Yeah, probably. And just influence a bunch to make sure we get silver tongues. Yeah, and maybe move. I guess, let's see, 1. Yeah, we don't really want to move our fleets. I don't know. We could move a few ships here if we wanted to. Interesting. We could move 1, influence, and that's probably a safe bet. Yeah, let's try it. So let's play mobilization 3. We will declare tyrant because we're winning that right now. So we'll declare tyrant like so. We'll skip our prelude. We'll move from arrow 1 to gate 1 with 3 ships. And then we will influence silver tongues, and then be done. That is us. White's going to surpass with mobilization 4. And they're going to influence outrage spreads and mining interest. So here and here. All right. Blue surpasses with mobilization 6. And they're going to influence on mining interest. So it looks like they're taking the initiative right now. One moment. Okay. And they are double influencing over top of that. And then yellow is going to copy. So yellow will copy. And what are they going to do? They're going to influence material cartels. They're going to also fight for this card. We don't mind them fighting over that. That's fine. Blue is going to take the initiative now. And now they have a smart move they're going to do here. This is actually quite good for them. So they are going to lead with aggression 6. So aggression 6 from blue. They can't declare ambitions, so they won't declare ambitions. They are just going to spend a relic to secure mining interest. And they're going to capture these white agents, which means that they're now in position to get second place in Tyrant, which I don't like. I don't want them to have that. They have mining interest. New card comes out is Song of Freedom. Nobody's favorite, really. Don't like that. Although it could be fun maybe to just yeet that city out of there. We'll see. So they did that, and then they're going to battle. So they have 2 battle actions with that 6 of aggression. So they're going to battle yellow yet again. They're going to roll a hit and a miss, damaging it. They're going to battle again, hit and a miss. They're going to destroy it. And then that triggers Beloved again, which allows yellow to influence on Material Cartel, which we're going to see them secure that as well. So yellow is going to copy, and they're just simply going to secure Material Cartel, gets them a captive, which I don't mind them having. Material Cartel is crazy, though, because now they have a huge shot at controlling Tycoon, which I don't like that. Although they also... No, Tyrant is what they're bad at scoring. So Galactic Bards comes out. Gosh, I kind of want that card. I'm a little worried of what Outrage Spreads is going to do when someone secures that. But yeah, actually, I'm quite scared of that. Okay, well, so now it is our turn. We follow aggression 6. This is a weird one. This is so weird. I think what we gotta do is play the 7, right? Although we'll be going. We will have free reign next, like going into the next turn. So I still think we want to do 7, because 6 could allow us to declare empath, which we can probably win and have no one else score any points on, which is probably good. So let's do administration 7. but copy with it. So let's copy the, right? Copy? Yeah, I think copy. So let's go ahead and copy and not seize, and we will just simply skip our prelude and secure Silver Tongues. So we get one more captive to make sure that we have that, which I mean we should have anyways, but no, actually, yeah, that helps us make sure we have that. And then Silver Tongues, we get the new card comes out, which is going to be Arms Union. Love Arms Union. Again, I love the Union cards. So good for helping you stay ahead on action cards. And now here's what I'm scared of, what White's going to do. White's going to copy, and sure enough, they're going to secure outrage spreads, and they're provoking material outrage, which that seems insane to me. Why would they do that? I guess they're just scared of material cartel, but that just seems so self-hurting. It doesn't hurt me, which is great. So they're going to secure outrage spreads. You may choose an outrage type. Each player, even you, must provoke outrage of that type. Discard this card. So now everyone gets material outrage. There we go. And then they'll keep loyal engineers. The elder will lose their material cartel. Feastbringer loses mining interest. That's two very powerful cards. But then Field Drinker also loses their material. And the funny thing is, we had no material cards. That is crazy. They must have been just scared of mining interest and mining cartel, I guess. But that was wild. I was scared they were going to do empath and make us lose our Silver Tongues, which wouldn't be like the worst, but like I didn't want to lose it. I didn't want to lose Gatekeeper either. So all right, Court Enforcer takes its spot. Man, that was a great moment for us. I'm really happy that happened. And that was the end of that round. Wow, we got lucky there with what they chose to do. Like I get where they're coming from with why they chose to do that, but that's kind of crazy. They have no cards left, so blue passes initiative to yellow, who passes it to me. And so we will have a free action here. So we'll play Administration 6. I believe yellow has a psionic with Secret Order. Blue and white both have a single psionic resource, whereas we have 2 already. So we only need to get any psionics to score this. So we'll play the 6 of Administration. We'll declare the Ambition to get Empath out there. And then we should probably, let's see, do we want to use our Silver Tongues? I mean, the mining interest and material cartel are both gone, which I thought were 2 really powerful ones. It could be good to get Secret Order, because then we could easily going into next round, we could easily declare Empath again, which could be really good. Although, I mean, Relic Fence could be cool too, because if we have a bunch of relics, we could easily declare Secret, or easily score the relic. In fact, relics would be pretty easy to score, other than white would compete with us. Boo, let's see. No, I think let's do Silver Tongues. So Silver Tongues, we're going to spend that right now to steal Secret Order. So Secret Order allows us to declare Empath or Keeper without placing the 0 marker. So steal Secret Order, and then we will end our prelude. And what we can do now is we can actually influence Arms Union. So we'll go ahead and influence Arms Union, because that will give us another card going to that next round. And then, I mean, we could influence Galactic Bards as well, and that's like another like easy way to declare ambitions. But I don't think that's what we need. Although I guess having another relic could be good. No, let's tax for a psionic. So we'll go ahead and tax this city to gain a psionic, and we'll place them like that. Psionic and fuel, and we are done. I guess the thing with the material, the fuel drinker might have, I mean, I don't know if they were thinking this intentionally, but material cartel would have destroyed their material anyways at the end of the chapter. So that's actually, I guess, not the stupidest thing. All right, so we're going to score a lot of points here. We ended our turn there and ends the chapter. And we are going to score first place for Tyrant because we have 4. And Blue's going to score second place for Tyrant. So we'll get 6 points up to 18. Blue will score 3 up to 11. We're also going to score first place for Empath for 5 up to 23. And no one else, because these guys tied on it, so they don't get the second place. And then we have to return all our captives. So captives will all go back to their people. And then going into the 4th and what should be the final chapter here, because we only need literally 4 points to get across the finish line. So however we think we can do that, we're a little behind on trophies, but even getting second place on trophies would be enough to win. So maybe, because it would be four points for second place, which would, put us at 27 and we'd win. We're going into 4th chapter. So Warlord could be smart. If we did that, that could be good, doing Warlord. Empath also pretty strong. I think we could have a pretty strong right on that because we have 2 empath or psionic cards. Plus we have an easy way to get psionic resources. So if we have a 6, we should probably declare empath. If we have a 4, we could probably do Warlord. I don't think we want to take our chances with Tyrant because I think people might try and tax our cities for captives. Keeper we'd also be solid with. And Tycoon, I don't want to mess with that. I don't think. So that's us. Let's see what our hand is. So we have a 3-4-5 of aggression. So I think Warlord does look good that way. So a 3-4-5 of aggression. We finally got some construction. We got a 2 and a 5 of construction. So the 5 could help us declare and relics. And then we got 2 of administration. No mobilization, and I'm okay with that. Who wants mobilization in the final round of the game? So here we go. Let me sort the deck here real fast. So we're in good position here. So no mobilization whatsoever. That's crazy. But we also have a lot of aggression, so we can move with aggression if we need to. It's nice to finally get a construction card or 2. And then sad not to get many administration cards. That is actually probably the biggest kind of problem because we can't tax a heck ton. And there's not an easy way for us to get a bunch more resources necessarily. So, I mean, White has a couple of resources. So possibly we could go raid them at their starport, but who knows? We'll see. So that's us. Let's start this chapter up. We certainly want to get Arms Union. And what else? Arms Union. And so why don't we just play the 4 or 5 of aggression? I mean, honestly, let's do the 4 because again, if we just get second place with Warlord, we win. So let's do that. So 4. Oh, but then we'll lose the initiative. Still probably worth it because we've got gatekeepers, so we can do a lot of damaging. No, because Arms Union could also get us the 4 back. So why don't we actually do the 5 to begin with? So the 5, no, I'm an idiot. We're gonna just do the 4. We're gonna do the 4. So 4 of aggression. Let's do it. And let's go ahead and declare a Warlord. Come on. Bring it on. And now what do we do here? I think we want to secure, use this fuel as if it was a relic or a psionic, and secure arms union, which is great. We can grab an aggression card later on another round. What comes out is populist demands, which allows people to declare any ambition. That's pretty cool. This comes out here. So now 4 points to second place for Warlord, which would get us across the finish line. So I think that's worthwhile. And then let's go ahead and also, I think we should probably just battle with this psionic. I don't like to have no resources left, but like, yeah, let's just do it. So let's battle with psionic. Use that to copy the lead card. And let's battle in gate 1. Let's battle in gate 1 against blue. We have 3 ships. We have gatekeepers, so it's 5 dice. Let's just soften them up with 5 blue dice. Finally got a decent roll. We got 3 hits, 2 misses. So we'll leave 1 damaged. Let's now end our prelude and battle here against yellow, gate 5. We have 6 blue dice here. So, I mean, 50-50, we could destroy all of them. But no, let's do a red and 5 blue. So red and 5 blue, and this is perfect. We get a hit on them, a hit on us, and we got 3 misses and 2 hits. Whoops. So like so. So we take a single hit on us, and we deal 3 hits and wipe out their fleet. And now we're currently leading on Warlord and probably set for second place for Warlord. So there we go. All done with our turn. No, sorry. We still have 1 more battle. So let's battle actually in... Do we battle here? Just get a couple hits? No, let's just clear out that blue ship. So we'll just roll 5 blue dice. And finally, we're rolling good when we don't really need it. We roll 2 blanks and 3 hits and wipe out that last blue ship. Dead. Awesome. And we're done. That's our turn. So now white is going to surpass with aggression 1. Let's see what they do. They're going to battle us at arrow 6. Oh no, they're going to roll 2 blue dice and a yellow dice. They're going to get an intercept and 2 keys. So they're going to lose a ship to us. They're going to take a ship as damage. But then they're also going to steal and bury Sworn Guardians. So Sworn Guardians gets buried in the deck. All right. And then what happens next? They're going to then battle us again in arrow 6. And what do they get? They are going to... Here we go. They're going to battle again, and they're just rolling 2 blue dice now. They got a hit and a miss. So you're just going to damage one of our ships. Then they're going to battle us again with a blue dice and a yellow dice. They rolled a hit and then a damage on themselves and a key. So they're going to suffer a hit. They're going to deal a hit, destroying this ship, taking it as a trophy, and then they're going to raid with 1 key. And that 1 key can't get them anything because all of our stuff is 2 keys or more. And that is their turn. So that was white. Blue is then going to surpass with aggression 7, which will seize them the initiative, and they'll have 1 action. They're just going to move a blue ship from gate 4 to gate 5. So a ship from here to here. I don't know what they're doing, but that's them. Yellow's going to copy. Oh, and when they're going to use their ability, Feastbringer, Charismatic, no, sorry. Is that them? No, yellow. What happened there? Yellow is securing Galactic Bards. I might have missed that when they got an agent on there before, but they're going to secure Galactic Bards. I assume that they had an agent that I just forgot to put on there. But yeah, so the Mass Uprising comes out, which gets a bunch of ships. not a priority for me. All right, so that was that round. That was not bad for us at all. That was really not a problematic follow-up to us putting a 0 of aggression out there. So, all right, so blue leads. Blue's gonna lead with 2 of mobilization, which is not good for us because we have no mobilization. They're gonna lead with this, and they're gonna influence court enforcers, populist demands, mass uprising, and song of freedom. They're just gonna do a spread of agents, hoping that something sticks, and that's their turn. Yellow is gonna surpass with a 4 of mobilization. They're gonna influence court enforcers, and populist demands. So they're gonna go over top of blue on those court enforcers. Pretty cool. And it's our turn. So what's important here? I mean, I think we might want to seize so we could declare another ambition, or do we not? Or do we just focus on winning this ambition? Maybe that's what we do. We don't really need influence. So why don't we instead use our 3 of aggression? Let's just do it. I think we can just win this game. Let's just pivot to aggression 3. We will not seize initiative. We'll take our 3 back with the arms union. So let's put that on there. Probably should wait for the 5, but that's fine. We'll end up prelude, and then let's just battle. Let's just battle at arrow 6. Or sorry, gate 5 against blue, and we'll roll 6 blue dice and hope we get a couple hits. We got 4 hits. 4 hits, and 2 misses. Destroys this blue ship. Don't come into our gates. We are the gate shapers. All right, destroy that, and that's the end of our turn. White is surpassing with a mobilization 3. So they're surpassing with 3. They're going to influence mass uprising, and song of freedom. So boom, boom, and boom. And then yellow is going to take the initiative because they had the 4. There we go. Arms union means we take back this aggression card. All these get trashed. And yellow, is going to lead with mobilization 7. And check this out, 7, and they're declaring Keeper. So Keeper is getting declared. And they have 2. They have Galactic Bards and Relic Fence. We just have 1. We have Loyal Keepers. So as of right now, they're winning that. We have 2nd on it, which is good. It's good to have 2nd on that. No one else has any relics currently. So, although white could just tax their cities. So they did that. It's a mobilization card again, which kind of sucks. What do we do here? We have no resources. So part of me wants to just tax or something with our administration card. But also we could just, what do you do here? We could move. We could move a bunch of our ships. Yeah, we probably could just move yeah, let's do this. We'll use construction 2 to copy. So we'll copy. We will not seize initiative. We will take no prelude actions. And we'll simply move from gate 1 to gate 2 with all 3 of our ships. There we go. And our turn, we're in position to attack yellow, who's certainly going to lose initiative, although I guess someone else is going to go before us, but whatever. White's going to surpass with mobilization 6. They're going to influence Song of Freedom, and they're going to move a white ship from Hex 5 to Arrow 6. So from here to Arrow 6, that makes sense. Support their attack. And blue is going to surpass with mobilization 1. Gross. So mobilization 1, but they don't have any weapons or anything to turn that into a huge battle, and they don't have ships to battle with anyways. So they're playing the 1. They're going to influence on court enforcers, influence on mass uprising. They're way overcommitted with their agents. They have no agents left. They're all on the table. And that is the end of that round. White took the initiative there with their 7, right? So they have the initiative now, and they are going to lead with mobilization 5. I mean, they know that we don't have mobilization probably. So that's what they're doing. They're leading with mobilization 5. They're not declaring. They're influencing mass uprising. So they're going to fight blue on that. Smart, because blue can't do anything more, right? Does blue have one more? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, there should be one more white agent on Song of Freedom. So blue does have one more agent. That's what it was. Because blue is actually going to copy, and they're going to influence again on mass uprising. That's kind of silly. Yellow's going to copy, and sorry, so blue copied. What is this card? This is R2. Is this from the past round? Yeah, I messed it up. This should be over here. Blue copied, yellow's going to copy now too. So yellow copies, they're going to influence court enforcers. So throwing this over here. So yeah, blue's in a tough spot because now they have no agents, and white and yellow are not relenting. So they did that, and now it's us. So again, we have no mobilization. We should probably just fight. So let's do it. Let's just play. Let's pivot to a 3 of aggression. And we still have our gate stuff going on. So let's just battle at gate 2 against yellow. And let's just roll 5 blue dice, right? Yeah, probably 5 blue dice. I don't want to get hurt by red dice. Let's just do that. Come on. We've had some of the worst rolls ever, but we're doing fine. We can afford to do that. 1 hit. Come on. That's so sad. So sad. All right, that was our turn. That sucks. That was our full turn. Oh, well. All right, so that was that. And who has the initiative now? So white holds the initiative, and they're going to lead with construction 7. And they're not declaring. So construction 7. We don't mind this because this is like keeping the actions that are going on very minimal, and we're in a winning position, so we're fine. They're going to build a white ship at hex 6. So here. Oops. And blue's going to copy. They have nothing they can do. Yellow's going to copy, and they're going to build a ship at hex 1. And it's our turn. Do we want to build anywhere? It could be nice to build a city. It's actually funny because we could actually still build and just score extra points in first place. We want relics, right? So the only place we get relics is if we went to white and we taxed them. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. So whatever. Let's just do the 5 of construction. Just copy with that. And we will not seize the initiative. We'll take no prelude actions. And let's simply repair this damaged ship. Just play it cool. We don't need to do anything. We're currently winning. End turn. White's going to hold the initiative. They're leading with administration 7. They're still not declaring. They're going to tax their city for a relic. They're taxing with a psionic for a relic. And then they're going to use their action to actually tax again the other city. So they're going to get 2 relics so they can compete for keeper. Smart. And then blue will copy. And they will tax their blue city here in hex 5 for a psionic. Then yellow will copy. And they're going to tax their yellow city over there for a material. Curious. Okay. So that is them. We're following on administration 7, and then we're going to have a turn after that. So do we tax? Probably, right? Yeah, probably. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's just go ahead and copy with our 2. Yeah, I think so. So we'll copy with our 2 of administration. No need to seize. We'll end our prelude. We will tax for a psionic here. Gain that. Done. And then finally, no one else has any cards left. We'll take the last turn of the round, playing aggression 5. And no need to declare an ambition here. We're going to skip that. We could just simply like battle a couple times. We also could move and then battle and then possibly battle again. Or yeah, I think we could, let's just keep our position. We'll hold on to our psionic. Let's just battle there, yellow, and we'll just take it easy. We'll do 5 blue dice. We're rolling 3 hits and 2 misses, which destroys them. Let's go. And then we have one more action in which we will, do we battle or do we move? Probably move. So we'll move from gate 2 to gate 4. So these will move around here with all 3 of those ships. Yeah, and end our turn. So we're done, and we'll score ambitions. So ambitions, we scored first place for Warlord, so we'll score 9 points up to 32. Blue scored second place, 4 points up to 15. White scored second place keeper, yellow scored second place keeper. So they're going to both score 3 points from 5 up to 8 and from 2 up to 5 for yellow. And that is it. We won with 32 points at the end of the 4th chapter. And that was the game. So, as you can see, this was 100% like a functioning game of ARCS. Obviously, it takes just as long as a normal game. This is like an over 2-hour video. But I thought it was just super fun. And there's still many challenging and meaningful choices throughout it. Even if I'm sure at times it must have looked really easy, or they've definitely made some bad decisions. But man, it's fun. You're still having to make really smart choices and smart play throughout it, and the familiarity that you gain with it just helps you to then come into the real game feeling so much more comfortable as you're playing it, and so much more like at home, and not kind of puzzling over everything that's going on and how everything interacts. So anyhow, that was that. Again, description is in the link if you want to play that just online, because as you can see, like I was just playing it on the iPad as I'm playing it out on the table. But I hope that you enjoy it. If you watch this, I hope this was like a good example of how the game is played, and I hope that you were able to understand and track what was going on. Please, if you have any suggestions for how to do this, or how to, recommendations on my play, or strategy tips or questions, drop them in the comments. Appreciate you, and thanks for watching. Have a great night.